Hello Dragons, thanks for tuning in to our final edition of Inside the Dragons. In this episode, you're going to have an opportunity to see some of the great senior celebrations that we had in all of our programs. Also a sneak peek at the different promotional celebrations that we had at our middle school and elementary levels, which are so important to our students, and we're happy we were able to do that this year. We'll take a look at some of the elementary interactive lessons, which include various elementary schools and even some of our Dragon virtual students. And then lastly, a look at the Lake Orion High School Career Center and how they continued on providing opportunities for colleges and jobs for our students. So thanks for tuning in. Go Dragons!
Even in the most unusual school year, the end of 2020-21 finished with the usual opportunities for celebration. In the weeks leading up to the end of the school year, the Lake Orion Community Schools seniors all found ways to wrap up their school careers. With no senior all-night party, the senior celebration took a slightly different turn with an in-school assembly where they watched the final LOAM episode.
In all seriousness, your class has gone through more than probably any graduating class since the Vietnam era. You need to be commended. You need to be commended for getting here today, because in less than 3 weeks you are going to graduate from high school, and you need to give yourselves a round of applause for that. Nice work.
On behalf of all the seniors in our television production workshop class, thank you for watching all year, and congratulations to the class of 2021.
The community came through with the usual donations, and they were raffled off during the event, with students coming to the stage in a game show format. The students then grabbed their caps and gowns, and it all began seeming like it was more real.
I was really excited. I'm also really sad that this will be my last time in Lake Orion, but I'm excited to see what the future holds next for me.
I knew it was coming, but it felt like it was never going to come, but now that it's finally here, it feels surreal. I can't really believe that we're done, but you know, I'm excited to be done and move on to the next part of my life.
Holding the largest prom in the area was always going to be a challenge, but leadership advisors Lori Hogan and Amy Redmond pulled off a unique and memorable event at the Palazzo Grande. The students arrived as usual and walked the red carpet. Then they proceeded to a massive parking lot tent where their tables were set up for eating and an outdoor dance floor. The theme was Night at the Oscars, and the mock awards that are usually handed out at an evening event were shared by the teachers attending. Graduation week ended up being far more conventional than anyone expected through much of the year. It started with Learning Options having a traditional ceremony on June 7th in the LOHS auditorium.
Phrases like, "Can you hear me? You're muted. Turn your camera on." We're now part of classroom experience and the classroom that you knew of during the school year. When we could go to school, we had to wear masks and socially distance, clear to go, and even occasionally quarantine. That word that I keep on thinking about this year is weird. This has been such a weird year. We can all agree on that.
For someone who has struggled with schooling most of my life, Learning Options High School has been a one-of-a-kind experience in the best way possible. I have found friends, a staff that supports me for who I am, and a place that will always have my heart.
Please move your tassels from the right to the left side.
The Lake Orion High School graduation on June 8th shifted through many iterations over the course of the past year as the regulations kept changing. But the event ended up as it normally does, with a beautiful evening and ceremony with heartfelt words from the speakers.
And I am thankful to be standing here this evening, tonight, in person, and not behind a monitor. I learned in the early 90s while working with teams that it's beneficial to one's mindset to count your blessings and not your problems.
And I know I speak for many of us when I say the stress of this last year has weighed on our hearts and minds far more than anyone but us could understand. Last summer, I watched as my classmates took to their platforms on social media and made it clear to our community and the world that dragons lead by example, with generosity, responsibility, integrity, and tenacity. If this year and you, this class, have taught me anything, it's that this generation has the heart to bring forth real change.
I thought more, and I realized every generation goes through something. The Great Depression, Vietnam, the recession, 9/11. Whatever it may be, we all face a moment of struggle. When we come face to face with that struggle, we can give up and run away, or we can plant our feet and fight. For us, this meant sticking together as a community and all the other precautions that kept us and our families safe.
The final graduation ceremony came on June 9th, when 3 Phases students, Tyler, Trevor, and Michael, were honored and recognized for completing their LOCS careers.
But today I ask us to kind of stop and reflect on the impact our graduates have made on all of us. With everything going on in the world today, it's important to stop and cherish our memories and lessons that we've learned. Many people we encounter each day make our world just more colorful. With the graduates here today, I've really learned a lot. Michael, sense of humor, and just you have to stop and just sing.
You guys make our days brighter, and I don't think I can have a bad day at Pine Tree Center when I can come upstairs with Phases. When we first opened up Pine Tree Center, Julie gave us a great lesson that in order to build greatness, it takes one brick at a time. Since that time at Pine Tree Center, as we've gotten through our first year with the staff, we've built a brick wall at the front entrance. And every year there's certain times that the first year Julie would have us design a brick. What's one word that inspires you? What's something that you accomplished? And each year we add a brick. And this year, I'm honored to present our 2021 Pine Tree Center brick that our graduates signed.
And a year with many challenges, concluding with many celebrations, was a welcome finish. While the focus of June is often on those graduating and leaving the district, the students moving up to a larger school are also being recognized. Each of the 3 middle schools held an 8th grade graduation ceremony to honor the students for completing their middle school time and sharing advice on moving up to the high school.
Knowing your goals are what matter and listening to those around you who truly have your best interests in mind. Confidence is embracing your mistakes as learning, not looking for someone to blame, but owning it. And confidence is to understand that you have work to do, but you're going to do it. It's going to get done.
We've learned to trust the process. We've learned to both lead and follow with positive attitudes. Now, our job is to take our abilities to the Lake Orion High School, a high school that is jam-packed with loads of opportunities. It makes me so happy to think about how many kids have found and will find their passion within those walls.
This year has been one like none other. With schedules changing every month, bedrooms becoming classrooms, and not being able to see our friends. It has shown us that life is all about keeping your head on a swivel.
Make tonight.
Henry Logan.
You will always be able to tell the story of where you were when you first heard the news of COVID-19 and that school and the world shut down for a while. Just like the adults behind me remember where they were when 9/11 happened. Actually, some of them were right here as students, isn't that right, Mrs. Goethals? As 8th graders, you were the first group to ever start school at home.
Through my time at Waldon Middle School, I've formed many friendships, and I've created memories that I will remember to sum up my early teenage years. Whether it was having a great time with some friends, crying during a math test, or taking class through a screen, being at Waldon has given me something to hold on to as I grow up.
Orion or Certificate of Recognition. Jasper Hour, Certificate of Recognition, President's Education Award.
We're proud of how much you've grown and matured over the years here at Waldon, but more specifically, what you've accomplished in this unbelievable school year. In spite of the distractions you may have heard in the hallway or classrooms, like, pull up your mask. Or maybe in the snack line, are you on your spot? You persevered and accomplished some pretty amazing things.
You did a great job, and I'm so proud to be able to say that I was your principal during this crazy, crazy year. So I think the word to make sure when you leave tomorrow after our pen party is you need to think about perseverance and how you persevered throughout this year and made it the best year you possibly could have made. And that
Harris, Thomas Hendricks, Cameron Holden, Sage Johnson, Adam Kyneth.
3 years ago, most of us walked into 6th grade for our first day, unsure of what our future would hold in this new building full of new people and new changes. As a student, as a friend, and as a web leader, I can honestly say that I'm so lucky and grateful to have walked in these doors every morning.
The elementary schools featured their own ceremonies for the 5th graders, who will be moving on to middle school in the fall, starting in a larger building with more independence.
But along the way, we made some pretty great memories, like being back at school for almost a year, or participating in recycling club, or being a bus buddy or safety. If I ever got the chance to review my whole 5th grade year and choose how to go, I would have changed a thing.
Enjoy all the opportunities available in middle school to try new things, make good friends, and be a good friend to others. Success is about having dreams to pursue and working hard to make them happen. Hard work will pay off with great rewards. You need to dream big and then come up with a plan to achieve those dreams. It's not just going to happen. Remember, no one's going to hand you anything. Nobody owes you anything. You need to earn it with great effort and resilience, and we know you can do it.
Everitt Deer. Josh Eden.
Closing the school year in person allowed for elementary schools to engage in ideas that are often the hallmarks of any school year, but looked uncertain. At Carpenter Elementary, Teresa West's annual Bugs Market made its outdoor debut with the students setting up tables to sell items to their fellow students.
For the past couple of years, Kristin Broth and I have incorporated economics into our classroom management, where the students get paid for coming to school and doing their class jobs and completing their work so they can earn money. There's bonuses, there's also fines when they make poor choices and so forth. And throughout the year they can spend their money on different things. And one of the things we have them do is a market day where they create businesses and they sell their products. And the classes buy from each other. And this year we roped in the other two 4th grade teachers, Mrs. Lawrence's class and Miss LeGros' class. And we needed to find a creative way to do it during COVID, or with the COVID restrictions. So this year it's outdoors. One class is the producers. They sell at a time.
And we're making mystery bags where you can, so you see, and then you can buy one, and you don't know what's in it, and so it's super fun.
Last year, I also sold bookmarks, and now she's my partner, so I recommended us
to sell bookmarks. Yeah, and because they're very simple to make. Yeah.
At Stadium Drive Elementary, the 5th grade students were motivated to improve the world and their own school.
So technically, as 5th graders, we were supposed to write an essay about how plastic water bottles are bad for the environment. And we decided, instead of interviewing our teacher, since she brought this idea, we decided to bring it to Mr. Murray. And he told us that it can be really harmful to the earth, and we had an idea to ask him to make water bottles for the whole school, and that's just how the inspiration of getting these water bottles started.
A handful of times per year, we do have kids come with ideas, and to the best of our ability, we do try to honor them. Taking action, whether it's in your community, community-wide, or just within your school setting, is important. And part of being a good citizen, part of being a good person. And so it is our intent to allow kids to have hopes and dreams about making change, and like I said, to the best of our ability, help them follow through with that.
As the students implemented their plan with the help of the Stadium Drive PTO, students were thrilled when they received the bottles.
All 5th grade is now ultra cool, almost 6th graders. We didn't know if you'd love the Stadium Drive logo on it, so we got you an LO logo. That way you can take it with you for years to come. So what we have for each student at this school, and these are yours, is a Stadium Drive, an official Stadium Drive water bottle. So Mrs. Kawamoto will pass these out today, and you can take them home, wash them.
For the Dragon Virtual Elementary students, the year was spent learning through the computer, but they were still able to connect near the end with in-person counterparts. The idea was hatched a few years ago by LOHS art teacher Sam Rimi.
I saw some things kind of floating around online. One thing that actually inspired me was an IKEA competition where they had elementary kids or young students create a drawing, and then they submitted it to IKEA, and then there was a board at IKEA that picked out images that they turned into stuffed animals. And I thought, all right, well, I wonder how that could play into our sculpture class. So, using paper mache as a kind of a quick medium, we contacted Stadium. One of the elementary teachers accepted, Mrs. Cardinal, and she had her students develop the drawings with a prompt, and then those images were sent to the high school, and the students selected a drawing to sculpt out of paper mache. And with that, we added some embellishments, and it just created kind of a fun atmosphere and a collaborative project between the high school and the elementary school.
And what do your students think when you kind of tell them they're going to be working with high school students? Is it intimidating? Is it exciting?
Oh, they love it. They think it's super cool. So they were really excited, especially this year, just in general, with they've been a little bit more isolated, we'll say, than being in person. So it's just the 30 of us. And so to realize that they were going to work with other kids and high school students was really like a special treat for them to be able to do this. They did not know they were going to keep the sculptures. So that was a big surprise for them. They thought they were just going to kind of see what they, the drawing that they created, what it would come to look like in real life. And then they got to actually keep them.
The two sides met up to see the sculptures in person outside of Stadium Drive Elementary, and all were thrilled.
I thought it would be exciting. I was really excited because the little kids, they always come up with crazy ideas, and I just thought it would be fun to create one of them. They were very interesting. There is so many crazy ideas. I thought it was going to be hard to create, but we got it done. It was so exciting to come see the kids that created the idea for us.
I've never really done such an involved project before. I was very excited about it because we heard about it like in the beginning of the quarter, and I was really looking forward to that project because it was later in the quarter. I was excited to meet the kids, and I was excited to do make a sculpture that was really out of the box. I was a little bit surprised. One of the designs that I chose was it was a bunch of like different components of a bunch of different animals, so it was very clearly labeled, but some of them were very out of the box. The kids are very imaginative. That was really special. That really made my week. I think some of the kids were a little bit shy, but other ones were very excited. It was nice for I think they were very excited to see something that they made actually become in real life, and they were really sweet kids. I was really excited to meet them.
While school was disrupted for most of the past 18 months, students are still progressing with their lives and trying to adapt to looking at their next steps. In the Lake Orion High School Career Center, teacher Rosa Everitt continued to try to bring along the opportunities for colleges and professions.
So this year, it's definitely been a different year for us at the high school, but one of the things that we were fortunate enough to do was to really have a huge 9th through 12th grade rollout here at the high school for Zello. And what that is, it's a program that allows the students to create an educational development plan, or an EDP. Through that process, students are taking these interest surveys and quizzes, and they're learning about their personalities and are they more of a creator, a thinker? Are they someone who's more artistic? And from that survey, these kids are they're aligned to jobs that might fit them, might fit who they are. And then they get to see, not only the jobs that fit them, but other jobs that relate to that career. For example, someone who might get more of an artist-based and also loves to help the community, they're going to see artist, art teacher, art therapy. They're going to see how these careers can fit together. And additionally, they have the opportunity to find out which colleges across the United States fit them as a person and fit what career or opportunity that they want to go into. Letting them know that we were here to talk to them and to give them advice. We've talked to students who were interested in gap years and what does that look like and how do they stay on those paths. Counselors have met with students even to talk about those things and what are the next steps for them. And I think, these kids it's just been a hard year, right? And we've tried to give them excitement, and we've tried to give them just opportunities to learn and to see what else is out there for them.
Thank you for all of your support this year and tuning in for our final edition. Let's have a great summer and go Dragons!
Inside the Dragons is produced by the Lake Orion Community Schools in partnership with Orion Neighborhood Television. For up-to-date news and information about the Lake Orion Schools, visit our website at lakeorionschools.org and watch us on Comcast Educational Access Channel 22 and AT&T UVerse Channel 99.